Hey everyone, welcome back. Ethan and Brendan here to discuss some pre-winter meeting stuff. Very exciting time in the baseball calendar, sort of the, mecca of baseball activity in the off season. At least it used to be. Now it, hasn't been as active in recent years, but obviously rumors are always flying around, but both before, during, and after, of course. And there's just a lot of sort of things that are going on. There's big free agent signings, there's trades because, obviously all the executives from teams are there. There's the Rule 5 draft, which we'll probably talk about at a later date. So it's just an exciting time, and obviously hopefully, our teams make some moves.
I think before we kind of start diving in, there's baseball fans of every different level. There's people who are baseball fans of 80 years and baseball fans of a few months. So Brandon, if you could you quickly just explain what these meetings are?
Yeah, so the winter meetings are an annual off-season activity, generally around like the first or second week of December. This year it's from December 9th to December 12th, I believe. And it's basically just like a 4 to 5 day romp of nothing but baseball rumors and activities. It's all the team executives from all the 30 baseball teams, all the top agents, all the top free agents will basically sort of come and meet, and combine at this one resort or wherever they're holding the winter meetings that year to discuss transactions, to discuss rosters, to discuss contracts, to discuss trades, to discuss prospects, to discuss everything in between. It's really just sort of a baseball mecca, as it were. And so generally the first day is pretty quiet just because teams are getting in, rumors are generally the main thing. The next couple days of the winter meetings are very active. Where trades and signings are happening, and then the last day of the meetings is often dominated by the Rule 5 draft and any last bits of tidbits as teams are leaving and getting set up to wrap up the calendar year and then move forward with the offseason come this year in 2025. So it's just an exciting time. Obviously, again, every team will be involved in some rumor or not, whether it's the fact that they're talking to free agents or not talking to free agents. So it's just a matter of, which team, it is that you're paying attention to.
So with that context, let's go into a specific team here, and I'm going to throw you the Red Sox first. There's so many rumors and talk going around first. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, Juan Soto.
Yeah. I think everyone knew that the Red Sox would talk to Juan Soto. I mean, listen, he's the best hitter in baseball. He's 26 years old. He's going to get a contract of 500, $600 million from whoever's willing to pay that price tag. Um, the fact that the Red Sox are so involved definitely surprises me a bit. I will reserve my sort of negative comments for a moment, but I will pass it off to you to see, how you feel about the fit.
I think it's a really interesting time to be a Red Sox fan because if you look back to like the early 2010s, again, if you don't know already, Brandon and I are from the New York area, and I can remember back to a time of I get this kind of dates where Brandon and I are age wise when you and I were in middle school, the early 2010s. I can remember a time where there was probably a bigger rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees. And now that Juan Soto is on the Yankees, to imagine Juan Soto being taken away from the Yankees after, I don't want to say it's unfortunate that they lost the World Series to the Dodgers, but being that they even made it to the World Series this year, it's definitely Juan Soto huge factor that they made it to the World Series, and to have the Red Sox take away their huge power hitting threat and put it to where in the 2010s the Red Sox and the Yankees were pretty neck and neck as like enemies, and they still are. I always think it's always also like it's to me, next to the Mets, the Red Sox are like the next big enemies, to the Yankees. And for the Red Sox to take Juan Soto away, that's a pretty big like blow to the Yankees. I'm all for it. I'm here for the drama, man.
I'd argue even the Red Sox Yankees rivalry is bigger. I know obviously, the
I'm
Yankees.
saying this as a New Yorker,
Yeah, of course, of course. But yeah, I will throw a little bit of water on the fire for a second. I do think that a lot of these rumors are being sort of propagated by the Scott Boras camp, who's Juan Soto's agent. Everyone should know who Scott Boras is, but basically, he's the big agent in baseball. And so I think that quite a bit of these rumors are him, I don't want to say lying, but maybe sort of hyping up some things because he knows what you're saying. If the It's one thing if the Yankees lose Juan Soto to the Dodgers or or the Mariners or whoever it is. If the Yankees lose Juan Soto to the Red Sox, their biggest rival, I mean, that's New York's going to go under lockdown. It's a it's the end of times, and so I think that it's sort of a money play where he's maybe trying to get the Yankees to just pony up their offer a little bit more. I would certainly love if Juan Soto went to the Red Sox. I think he'd be an excellent fit next to Rafael Devers in the middle of their lineup. But it's definitely, again, right now, the Red Sox have been the team that have the most rumors surrounding it. So it's very interesting.
And speaking of Rafael Devers, he's making a little bit of a move here. He's moving from the third base position to excuse me, first base. How do you think that's going to affect the team?
Yeah, it's an interesting rumor right now. I
Again,
think
all speculative here. We don't want to make any claims here.
Yeah, but it's a rumor that's definitely been circulating a lot, and I think it's the first thing that comes to mind is obviously what happens to Tristan Casas because he's the first baseman. I know he was injured, didn't have his best year in 2024, but like he's the first baseman on the team. Is he going to go to DH? Like what happens to him? And also obviously moving Devers off third base means the team has a plan. Obviously, Marcelo Mayer's coming up soon, but is he going to play third base or shortstop? Trevor Story's coming back, but he'll probably be at second base. So it's just, or are they opening up third base for an Alex Bregman signing? So it's an interesting rumor. Again, I think it's more of a thing where it's like the Red Sox are saying, hey, this is something we can do in order to add a really good player at a position that's already filled. But again, it poses some interesting logistical questions for the roster.
I and now there's one last thing I kind of want to mention to you, and again, this is something kind of near and dear to my heart, being not only Red Sox fan, but also an Orioles fan, having lived in Baltimore for 6 years. Um, you know, Corbin Burns has been talked about a lot, being he is a free agent right now, and also Max Fried has been talked about a lot. Of these two very good pitchers possibly going to the Red Sox. I really don't want Corbin Burns to go. I'd love for him to stay with the Orioles, but the times they are changing. So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Corbin Burns is just out of the Orioles price range. I just don't see the team giving out a $200 million contract, especially after the Chris Davis fiasco a decade ago or whatever it was. And so yeah, I think the Red Sox saw Blake Snell go to the Dodgers. They saw Kikuchi go to the Angels. Apparently, according to rumors, they finished like in second place in both of those free agent runnings. They're clearly in the market for a top free agent starter, which we know. And so it would shock me. It would shock me if they do not land Corbin Burns or Max Fried.
I think that at the end of the day, and we've talked about this a lot in the past few videos of, listen, we need a good starting pitcher. And to have somebody like Corbin Burns or Max Fried, at the end of the day, it's going to be a win-win situation. It's more, again, in these meetings, it's this talk of, and again, we have the money. It's the talk of who's willing to shell out more money, who's happy with the contract. Only time will tell. And again, this is all speculative. We do want to make that very clear. But I'm excited to see what the end result is. And at the end of the day, and this is me whispering into you, I hope he stays with the Orioles. But I know in my heart of hearts he's probably not.